here's what it looks like interior wise at night. You get that puddle light down low. I don't know how good the camera will be as far as showing you how much light you get on the inside, but it's adequate. It does the job. As far as back seat goes, nicely lit. And it's just little LEDs now. And this is what I always talk about. If you have 3 passengers back here, there are bumps. You can't see it now because it's dark. There are bumps here in the roof of the vehicle, but here it gets a little tight. So if you have somebody a little bit shorter, that's where you want to be. But overall, it's nicely lit. 2 LED lights up there as well. Gonna start the truck here, show you all the lights come on. This TRD will flash at you. Hit it. And there we go. I don't have the headlights on or anything, or the interior lights, just showing you when you have them off what it looks like. There's the screen. All right. And then you get the little parking indicator down there. The charging lights over here, but that's it. Now, when we turn the lights on, this is what it looks like outside. As you can see, nice and bright. And that is the headlights and fog lights. And then all the little interior lights come on. All your HVAC, all your controls are now nicely lit. And you do get a little bit of a blue light. I don't know how good you'll be able to see it on the tray here and down here with the charging station. Good amount of light. But let's take this thing for a ride and I will show you how it looks out on the road as far as sight lines and everything and how good the headlights really are. But before we move, let's turn the fog lights off just to show you what that looks like. Doesn't really do much on camera, but to the naked eye, the lower left and right go away a little bit. Hope you could see that there. Always good to have both on, especially nowadays. A lot of deer running around, so the more light, the better. But let's take her for a ride. Okay, we got 2 cameras on right now to kind of show you both views, out the window and with all of the instruments. One thing I do want to say right away, if you're thinking of this big interior screen here being distracting, this is just to show you it's not distracting at all. You could change this background to white or black. In the day, it's white. I have it changed to be the black background all the time. I like that look a lot better. But overall, you know, everything as far as the instruments, everything is lit up nicely, but nothing is too bright. You can obviously change the setting of brightness, but it's really no big deal as far as, you know, your instrument cluster up here, your gauge cluster. Nothing is insanely bright to make it distracting. That was one of the big questions I had when this new big 14-inch screen came out. Is it something that, you know, would draw your attention away from the road? But as far as outside the windshield goes, as you can see, very, very adequate lighting. Now, if you want to use the TRD light bar on this Pro, you have to go to the high beam. So here's a look at the high beams without the light bar. And when we hit the light bar, as you can see, it gets very bright over on the sides. But you have to have the high beams on to make that happen. But, you know, that's not something you're going to use on road. That's for off-road use only. But if you wanted to, you got to drive around with those high beams. So if you are in an area, and I know I brought this up already in this video, but once again, because it's a big deal up here, deer have been running across the road insane this year around my area, and people have been getting in accidents. So if you're on a nice dark road with no cars up in the mountains, in the hills, in the woods, that TRD light bar may come in very, very handy to really light that road ahead. So it does serve a purpose for on-road when it comes to things like that. But as you can see, you know, with limited street lights out here, does the job just fine. When I turn off the fog lights when I drive, the headlights are great. Mind you, these are the premium LED headlights that auto adjust. So if you come up on a car in front of you, it will lower the beam so it doesn't blind the driver. So right now you're getting a nice far beam so you could see everything in front of you, down the road a nice distance. But if a car starts to come towards you, or if you come up on a car, you will start to see the beams lower a little bit. That's some great technology. Now, in the old generation Tundra, there was a manual level that you would use inside the vehicle to take care of that. But you know, the future is now, and the technology is here, so it does it automatically. But the truck has good sight lines. One thing when I first got into the next generation Tundra, I said the screen, or not the screen, the windshield is a little bit more narrow than the old one. but you know, it's no big deal. You get over it. It still has great sight lines. There really isn't much of a blind spot in here, and you're surrounded by the 360 camera. You know, you have sensors all over this thing, so you know, it really guides you. And we also now have this digital mirror that's in here that took a little while to get used to, because when you look at it, it looks like a car is a little bit behind you, but really it's more on you than you think. It's just the way the camera has it. But overall, not bad. So let's get a little pick me up as far as speed goes here. There you go. But as you can see, when you're in a situation like a main road like this, it's adequately lit up nicely. So overall, there really is no issues with the interior lighting of this truck. There really is no issues with the lighting on the outside of the vehicle as well. Everything is nice and bright. And the screen, that's one thing that continually comes up. The screen is not distracting at all. So you got to let me know what you think.